Hello everyone, welcome back to the Pharmacy India YouTube channel, students. So as you all know that we have started the special series for MRB students for Tamil Nadu Pharmacist Exam. And as we are continuing this series, so today we are going to start a new topic of subject pharmaceutics, that is biphasic liquid dosage form. So first of all, let me introduce you with a topic. Biphasic means those dosage form which is having two phase. Like if I am taking an example, that is your suspension. Suspension is having solid and the liquid. So these are the two phases. So solid is dissolved solid is dispersed into the liquid phase, that is biphasic. And if I am talking about emulsion, emulsion is also your biphasic dosage form. Means oil and water are the two phases, so which denotes biphasic. So moving forward to the, if you are new to this channel or to the mainly organization and you haven't download the Pharmacy India mobile app for the regarding various updates. So download Pharmacy India mobile app and here you will get latest pharma updates like the government exam dates, government preparation strategies, government exam updates, various you will get in that. And you can also visit on our website, official website, that is pharmacyindia.co.in, where you will get the latest updates about everything. Now moving on to this, and you can also join our mainly WhatsApp channel and Telegram. You will get below in the description link. So you will get the updates that on which date the lecture will going to be appear. Okay. Now moving on to the first question. Which of the following is commonly used preservative in suspension? Means preservative. What is preservative? Preservative is that which prevent the microbial growth. So we are going to add some preservatives. So there will not be a microbial growth in the formulation. So we have to tell the example. So mainly we will use the methyl paraben as a preservative. Yes, there is also there is a propyl paraben is also which acts as a preservative. So write down that propyl paraben. Yes, propyl paraben. This is also act as an mainly preservative. Now moving on to the next question. What is the sedimentation volume in a suspension? Let me very clear with you that sedimentation volume and degree of flocculation, degree of flocculation, these are the two parameters which will tell you the physical stability. So please write a note on that sedimentation volume and degree of flocculation are the two physical parameters through which we can check the stability of the suspension. So here the simple point asked that what is actually sedimentation volume is, that is the ratio of ultimate height to the initial height of the sediment, that is your sedimentation volume. Now moving on to the next question. Which method is used to determine the surface electric charge of a suspension? Means which type of particle is having which type of charge. So whenever we will talk about the charge on suspension, so we will choose electrokinetic. Yes, electrokinetic means electro is all about the charge. Kinetic denotes motion. Yes, kinetic denotes motion, means the particle always remain in motion. So they are having a charge. So with the help of electrokinetic method, we will tell you about the surface electric charge. And with the help of rheology, we will tell you about the flow of fluid. Yes, rheological method will help you to tell you the flow of fluid. fluid. Yes. So that is your rheology. Now moving on to the next point, that is micromeritics. Micromeritics means micro, the particles which are in micro size, we will deal in micromeritics. Now moving on to the next question, which method is employed for evaluating particle size changes in a suspension over time? Means in micromeritics method, we will tell you about the particle size, shape, surface area. Let me clear with an example. There is an mainly apparatus, that is your counter method. Yes, counter method. Counter method. With the help of this method, we will tell you about the particle size and particle volume So this is a simple mainly instrument which we are using for the particle size and particle measurement. And again, a next method is Anderson pipette, in which we are going to observe gravity based sedimentation, Anderson pipette. Now moving on to the next question, why are suspension typically packaged in wide mouth bottles? Means, haven't you seen the mainly suspension bottle? This is a simple representation of that. This is the bottle. This is the bottle, simple. So here in the question is asked that why we are having wide mouth bottles. Means mainly this is the opening. Why? Because to prevent light exposure, to maintain sterility, or to facilitate easy removal of the suspension, or to reduce oxidation. As it is denotes, that is to facilitate easy removal, means we can take out the medicine easily. So to facilitate is to make easier. The mainly word denotes to make easier. And here you can observe a word sterility. What do you understand by sterility? Sterility is something to make them free from a microorganism. That is your sterility. Okay, moving on to the next question. What is the primary difference between flocculated and deflocculated suspension regarding the sediment? Here the 2 points asked, that is the primary difference, and second is regarding the sediment, we have to tell the difference. Flocculated suspension have a clear supernatant liquid, or flocculated suspension form a loosely packed sediment, or deflocculated suspensions are easily dispersed, or deflocculated suspension have a high rate of sedimentation. That is flocculated suspension. As its name indicate, flocculated, it means flocks. It means flocks. So when the flocculated suspension will sediment, it form soft cake, loosely packed, where deflocculated suspension will form hard cake. Please write down, because the question asks so many times that which type of suspension will form hard cake. That is deflocculated suspension will form hard cake. Yes, as it is the simple one. Now, if I am talking about, the question may be asked from this point is that which type of suspension is pharmaceutically preferable? So the correct answer is flocculated suspension will be pharmaceutically preferable. Yes, pharmaceutically preferable. Pharmaceutically preferable. Okay, so this is correct answer. And deflocculated suspension is having highest bioavailability in comparison to the flocculated. Now moving on to the next question, what is the role of flocculating agent in suspension? Means we have to tell, and this question is appeared from the formulation. So to increase the viscosity of the suspension, to reduce interfacial tension, to prevent microbial growth, or to improve the taste of the suspension. So when we are using flocculating agent, it automatically works to reducing the interfacial tension between solid and liquid. So the correct answer is interfacial tension. And I have one point more you have to add in this, that which type of force mainly are available in interfacial tension. So the correct answer is in adhesive force. Adhesive force is involved in interfacial tension. and in in surface tension. In surface tension, we are having cohesive force. So the correct answer is option B. Now moving on to the next question, which of the following is a characteristic of a good suspension? Means how good suspension looks like. The particle should not form a hard cake upon settling. It should be highly viscous and difficult to pour. It should have a rapid rate of sedimentation, or it should be chemically reactive. As it is named, because if a suspension is good, then they will not form the hard cake. Because so in case of flocculated suspension will never form hard cake. So it means flocculated suspension is a good suspension, pharmaceutically preferable suspension. Means the question may be asked that which type of suspension is pharmaceutically preferable. So you have to tell the correct answer. Now moving on to the next question, what is the purpose of tearing a container in the preparation of suspension? What is the purpose of tearing a container? So we have to tell the purpose: to sterilize, to ensure accurate final volume, or to improve mixing, or to prevent particle aggregation. So the correct answer is to ensure accurate final volume. Means we are having lakhs of bottle. So we have to check them that either it is having fixed volume, or lower than the fixed volume, or higher than the fixed volume, because it automatically affects the quality or the millipotency of the drug. Now moving on to the next question, which method is less widely used for preparing suspension? Which method? So we have to tell the answer, that is precipitation method is less widely used for preparing suspension. And there are three methods available in emulsion also. So if I am talking about the preparation method, so we are working on the biphasic liquid dosage form. So please write down a simple point, method of preparation for emulsion, because many a time question may be asked, method of preparation of emulsion. Method of preparation of emulsion. First one is dry gum method. Dry gum method. Second one is wet gum method. And third one is bottle or fobbs method. Bottle or fobbs method. Fobbs method. Bottle or fobbs method. These are the three methods. Okay. Now moving on to the next question. So before moving on to the next question, I am going to recommend you, if you are preparing for the MRB exam or MRB Pharmacist exam, so I recommend you this best objective book for your MRB, especially designed according to the MRB pattern. And it is available on the Pharmacy India app and Flipkart and Amazon. You will get the links below. You can order it, and you have to prepare with these practice sets, because it is having the mainly 4 Tamil language eligibility papers also as per the pattern. And here the theory book, MRB theory book, you can you can also order with the help of Pharmacy India app and with the help of the Amazon and Flipkart. Now moving on to the next question. To have a good pharmaceutical suspension, the particle diameter should ideally between what values? Means what should be the particle range of the particles in suspension? So the correct answer is the particle range should be 1 to 50 microns. 1 to 50 microns. Now moving on to the next question. Which of the following is an example of suspending agent? Which type of suspending agent we are going to use in suspension? So the correct answer is all of the above. Means carboxymethyl cellulose, methyl cellulose and microcrystalline cellulose we are going to use as a suspending agent. And one more important point, that we are going to ask the trade name of microcrystalline cellulose. Many a time the question may be asked that microcrystalline cellulose having the trade name, that is your Avicell. Avicell. The microcrystalline cellulose known with the other name is Avicell. Okay. Now moving on to the next question. An emulsion is a dispersion in which? An emulsion means an emulsion is a homogeneous phase. An emulsion is homogeneous. Homogeneous why? Because it is having both liquid, solid, the oil and water, both are the liquid. So liquid is dissolved in another liquid. Solid is dispersed in liquid. No, this is the incorrect answer. The dispersed phase is composed of small globules of a liquid distributed throughout an immiscible vehicle. Yes, it might be a small globule of solid. No, solid we are not having. So the correct answer means oil and water are two phase, and if the oil is dispersed in water, then it is known as oil in water, and is water in oil, water is dispersed in oil, that is water in oil. So there are two types of question that if someone is asked that vanishing cream is which type of emulsion, so we have to tell vanishing cream is oil in water. Vanishing cream is an example of oil in water. Vanishing cream, vanishing cream, vanishing cream. Now if I'm talking about the next question, cold cream is an example of water and oil. Cold cream. And the one more question asked from this question is that which type of emulsion we can use parenterally. So the correct answer is oil in water. Oil in water we will use IV, means parenterally. So maybe the question is asked parenterally. Okay, so the question is asked. Now moving on to the next question is type of emulsion based on the dispersed phase include. We have to tell me, means oil in water is which type? Oil droplet dispersed in water, water in oil means water is dispersed in oil, or based on the size of liquid droplets means macroemulsion. So the two options are correct, means if the oil in there is a oil in water, so oil is dispersed in water, water is dispersed in oil. So these two statements are correct. And let me clear with this point also. Please go with mainly one rule, that is Bancroft rule. The question may be asked from this point, that is Bancroft rule. Bancroft rule. Okay, Bancroft rule. Now moving on to the next question. General type of pharmaceutical emulsion include all except. You have to tell which is not included. So mainly the hit and trial, or the direct answer is suspension, because suspension is not a type of emulsion, because in this the solid and liquid is involved. Solid is involved because no liquid, solid and liquid is involved, and solid is insoluble. Now moving on to the next question. In good pharmaceutical suspension, what is the typical particle diameter? We have to tell the typical diameter range. So the correct answer is between 1 to 50 micrometer. This is the typical mainly particle diameter. Now moving on to the next question. What is the purpose of using suspending agent in a dispersion medium? Means why we are using suspending agent in dispersion medium? To reduce particle size, to lend structure to the medium and assist in suspending the dispersed phase, or to increase the density of the medium, or to improve drug solubility. Means why? What is the purpose? So it is that to lend structure to the medium and assist in suspending the dispersed phase. Now moving on to the next question. Which theory explain emulsification as a result of lowering interfacial tension? Means which type of theory explain? So the options are oriented wedge theory, interfacial film theory, surface tension theory, or phase inversion theory. So in the question asked, so that is the surface tension theory. The surface tension theory states that by lowering the interfacial tension between the two immiscible liquid, an emulsifying agent facilitate the formation of a stable emulsion. Yes. Now moving on to the next question. What is the key difference between monophasic and biphasic liquid dosage form? As its name indicate, that monophasic liquid dosage form is having the single phase, and biphasic is having two phase. And I'm showing an example, monophasic liquid dosage, that is elixir. Elixir is your hydroalcoholic. hydroalkalic solution. And if I am talking about biphasic, suspension and emulsion are the two biphasic systems. Now the monophasic liquid has single phase and biphasic having two phase. Now moving on to the next question. Which of the following is an example of monophasic liquid dosage form for external use? Means there are two types of question asked, that which is a monophasic liquid dosage form and which is for external purpose. Syrup, elixir, gargle or suspension. So gargle we are using for mainly the external purpose. Okay, mainly you can also write it down. You have to read that according to the USP and IP, what should be the concentration of sugar in syrup. Maybe the question asked from this point also. Now the next question is, what is the primary reason for using dosage form in drug administration? Means what is the primary reason? That is to protect the drug and control its release, as the name denotes. Now the next question is, which type of emulsion consists of oil droplet dispersed in water? The question is simple. Oil in water means question denotes the answer, oil in water. So the correct answer is option B. So mainly there are two types of options also there. These are the types of micro emulsion. Micro emulsion, these question micro emulsion. Okay, there are three types of emulsion, mainly oil in water, water in oil, and the multiple emulsion. Multiple emulsion. These are the example of multiple emulsion. Now moving on to the next question. What is the role of surfactant in suspension formulation? Let me clear. Surfactant is having a structure like sperm. Okay, this is the structure. This is a hydrophilic head, and lipophilic tail, Hydrophilic head and lipophilic tail are the mainly two components, and surfactant works by reducing surface tension and interfacial tension. Yes. And surfactant is characterized by HLB scale. HLB scale means hydrophilic lipophilic balance, which is discovered by Griffin. So the correct answer is to reduce interfacial tension. Now moving on to the next question. What is the purpose of using organoleptic additives in suspension? Organoleptic means organ loving, means to mask, to make attractive, to make tasteful if the drug is having bitter. So the correct answer is to enhance the color, flavor and sweetness of the formulation. So the correct answer is option B. Now the last question of today's class is, which classification is based on the particle size of the dispersed phase of suspension? Means which type of suspensions, that is colloidal suspension and coarse suspension, are divided or classified based on the particle size. So here we have compiled the best 25 questions, and if you are having any query, you can join our Telegram and WhatsApp group for the latest further updates, and you can prefer the MRB success kit, and you can search it on Flipkart, which is cash on delivery available on the Flipkart. So till then, stay connected with Pharmacy India, because we are going to make it more for MRB Tamil Nadu Pharmacist. Till then, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.